finish off what we started. I look back at that championship game. I look back at what's happened since then with the moving on of Coach Anderson. I think it's very easy to lose the fact that we've won 10 games, that we've been successful, that we've done good things. We have to fight to get that back, I feel, and so we're all ready to do that.
Dave, you mentioned Coates and Marshall, and if you look at the way what the quarterback can do running and throwing and their receivers, there's some similarities to Ohio State,
right.
But what are the similarities and differences in how they like to attack?
I would compare them to Arizona State, who we played a year ago,
okay.
In terms of the pace and how fast they go.
Okay.
The quarterback is very slippery in terms of not a lot of people have been able to tackle him. When he scrambles to throw, not necessarily to run. The receivers are the best receivers that I've seen since I've been in this place. So in 2 years, they're the best. They are great at deep balls and jump balls and everything else. It's a vertical throw game. And so in those respects, it's a difficult matchup. The advantage we have is the time to study film, try to build them, be particular about when we're blitzing, when we're covering. There are tendencies that are in there that we're trying to decipher and get it to our kids. It's difficult when it's pace. It's the reason why they do it, hide and mask certain things. But what a great test this is. What a great test. And so we started with some pace today. We'll be all pace these next 3 practices prior to breaking up.
Can you talk specifically about their game? And obviously you guys go against Melvin and Corey every week, and you've played against them too. Is there something specific that Auburn does that is different, or is going to give you more of a challenge?
They're a wing T run team. I know that a lot of misdirection. They have really cut tight splits by the receivers. They got big receivers. They'll come and crack linebackers, so they'll seal everybody inside. Then they'll pull everybody outside. And when you don't have hard edge support, it's a big problem. I go back to Missouri a year ago. Missouri had a championship game much like we just had, and the issue in that game was lack of hard edge run support. And so we're trying to be able to create that. They've got really good speed, and when they do hit the perimeter, if there's not people in place, it's a problem. They create formations to create those splits. So if you were to freeze the frame right prior to the run being made, we'd all be able to say, hey, they're running over here, but they create it. So they'll motion a guy in late, they'll flip it back. They're creative that way, and I know with the ball we'll see some new creations, but that's right down our kids' wheelhouse. I feel comfortable with that. We're getting the work we need in the run game.
Were there things from last year's bowl prep that you can apply to this year, and what you learned from the game itself against South Carolina?
That's a good question. I'd say it's very similar in terms of the quarterback having moxie in the pocket and not going down easily. We struggled to tackle that quarterback a year ago, and we struggled on some deep balls a year ago. I thought we were in competition for some things and just didn't come down with it. And so we talked about that at the beginning of this bowl prep. And so one of the answers that we came up with was corners getting out early, working one-on-ones, was working on blitz technique so that when we are rushing the quarterback, we're not only affecting him, but we're keeping him in the pocket as opposed to losing contain and having to run around.
You worry about tackling too when you have a layoff. The impact of that in the bowl.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was going to say was we are going to tackle. Starting tomorrow, we will have live tackling and continue that the next 2 practices prior to taking a break, and then when we come on back, we'll tackle some more. So there's a speed and space drill that's going to be a big part of the game. I remember South Carolina, they threw a bubble screen, and we had Chris Borland out there, and I'm thinking it's going to be 2nd and 10, and it ended up being 2nd and 5. And Chris made about every play prior to that, and so just the speed's going to be an issue. We've got to do the best we can. I think keeping the quarterback contained, playing the deep ball, and then tackling are big issues.
What's the vibe around here? So much has happened in the last week. Do you guys feel like you're still on top of your game?
I do. I think I have full confidence in our coaches. I know our players are confident, and I think they're motivated. I know they're motivated. And so we come out to practice. They want to know how they've done. Is there anything they can do better? what are we seeing? The talk on the sideline is really good when they're going back and forth from one series to the next. So they're totally into it. They really want to be able to put on a good show on the first, get a win, and go out as bowl winners.
Given your success here in 2 years, it would stand to reason that you have multiple suitors, which I imagine is flattering. But you know, you said you would like to stay here. Is that difficult at all for you to think about? You know, if other programs do want you, in terms of what you decide to do, or whether their time frame fits, or any of those things.
Yeah, I just don't really like the attention, you know, and so it's difficult for me to handle that. I'd rather not. And so that's the hardest part about it. But all those guys are all good friends of mine, and they'll continue to be friends. And you know, once you get to the business part of it, you like to be able to get through that as quick as possible so you get to the football part.
Did you have any clue that Gary was either not happy or wanted to look for something else or anything like that? He ever expressed that to you?
Dave, Paul's always been sort of a 4-3 guy. Have you talked to him at all about whether you continue to do what you're doing here or switch to that 4-3?
No, sir.
No. Okay.
Dave, I don't know if you've been asked this while it's gone, but Zach Zebski,
Yes.
he's out. How do you compensate for his absence given what he
That's a good question. I don't know if we can. I think we're going to ask him to bring all of his energy, all of his intensity on the sideline. He's been doing that for us. That's such a big part of what he brings. I mean, he's such a tough guy and such a motivator. We're going to try to get as much of that out of him as we can on the sideline. In terms of being on the field, you know, look at guys like Kiefer's got to be able to step up. Goldberg's got to be able to step up. They will be seeing more time than what they normally have. Warren possibly moving out on certain down and distance. So it's going to be a team effort. It is a loss for sure.
Were there some plays against Ohio State? There were some guys not in their gaps. I'm thinking that 81-yard run by you hadn't seen that this year.
No, it's unfortunate to see. I think when I look back at it, I thought we felt good about our prep. If anything, we probably, or I should have had more change-ups than what we had. So like I say, I take responsibility for that. That's 2 years in a row now. And then, yep. And then, what's unfortunate about that game is that I felt the deep balls undressed us a little bit. It shook us, and it took us a while to get back. I think not until about the third quarter I think we got a 3 and out, right, or something like that, and we were able to kind of to feel confident again. So that's something that was addressed, and we'll have to continue to address it because those things are going to come up again. That's football. That's part of it.
Guys just having trouble locating the ball back there.
No, you know, I think I look at myself. We have to be able to give them more reps. So I feel like we're doing that now in terms of early outs and things. And starting tomorrow, the offense will be outside with the insides. We got the full field so that we can throw the ball deep. Part of it is when we are in here, and the offense is there and the defense is there. The longest throw is 25 yards. So we'll do those things to give them the looks that they need because they're eager to perform. I feel it's on me to get that look to them.
Is that something you did not do in the days leading to the Big Ten championship game?
Correct.
The two split things.
Correct. Correct.
I assume you were surprised by that. I mean, I know they can throw deep, but
yeah, I think there's where we are at right now is when we rush just base defense wise, we have to improve that way so that we don't always have to pressure. And when we do pressure, I think we have to be able to be consistent enough to fit up on run fits. So those are things that, again, I take responsibility for. I called those pressures when it was a run. I was trying to match a throw. So I'll be better in those instances.
Coach, how excited are you about the future of this roster on defense?
Good, I'm excited. TJ Edwards really stands out. We just had a young guy scrimmage or young guy practice, and TJ made I don't know, 4 tackles, had 2 passes broken up, was all over the place. So his quickness and agility and the instincts, I'm excited about that. You know, we've got some other young guys that are playing right now that are going to be back, obviously, in the DB spots. So I'm excited about that. You know, Smoke got in a fight, which I was happy to see. And so
Who's that?
Smoke, yeah.
Who's Smoke?
I think that was listed on the roster.
Patterson,
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Smoke. How does he get that name?
It's a long story.
Okay.
But he's showing some fire. He's got some great quickness, and he's getting comfortable. You know, he's feeling confident in what he's doing. Is the biggest thing. So that's exciting.
What can McAvoy give you? I mean, I know obviously you've talked about him before, but his wingspan.
It's the biggest deal. Yeah, they got a receiver they put in the slot a lot, number 1.
Okay.
He's a JC transfer. His name escapes me now, but he's about 6'4", about 240.
Is that Williams?
So it's a clear mismatch, yes.
Okay.
And so we've got a better matchup with Tannehill.
I asked you about him in camp, and he said you're going to get me in trouble.
Yeah, we got him. Finally, it took a couple games. Finally got him. Yeah.
I came in a little late. I'm sure you can't confirm, whether you're staying or not. But are you interested in staying here?
Yeah, I love it here. I mean, I love the people here. I love the kids here, especially the players. Got so much respect for them and how they handle their business, and the administration, the people here have been great to me. My wife loves it here, kids. So that would be an ideal situation.
Thanks.
I know you can't